I guess when you feel a little down or overwhelmed and pain, it's easy to fall into depression. And I've just tried the best I can to deal with the grief I feel, the disappointment, this regret that I didn't work on a big painting with my dad while he was still alive. I feel like was so much more that my dad deserved to have out of life, and that his quality of life, being sick like that, just sucked. And I couldn't just leave him. It was a joy even just to be hanging out in the backyard and making him food, and I can't describe what an empty feeling life feels like now. My dad can make me laugh, and we can just talk about anything, and always some kind of interesting thing that we talk about or discover or look at. I just feel extremely lonely and disappointed and bitter about my life. And they say life is what you make it, and the decisions and the choices that you make, hard work, discipline, everything you put into it kind of determines your destiny and your outcome. But on the same at the same time, there's a level of chance, and there are certain cards that we are just dealt with, and there's only so much time. I feel like I try not to look back and feel sad, but I just feel like the bulk of my time has been spent working to make so little amount of money, and then just sort of being all in on just trying to make it so that I had some type of family, that my dad could survive, feel comfortable, because that meant more to me than anything else. And now his legacy, his entire, everything that we just sort of built together, like I was very supportive of my dad. Like it is all like, being, it's almost as if it's just been discarded and made to be more of a burden to me than anything else. And I'm really hoping to resolve everything this week, tomorrow and Friday, and starting a new chapter in my life. I don't see myself not renting that house out. I don't see how financially I can keep going like this without renting it out. And I'm really not sure if I still want to be in New York anymore. I'm really not so sure about living here anymore, and I'm so disappointed about all the years I spent in these mind-numbingly boring office jobs in the corporate world, and staring into a computer, and just I went from coming home filthy dirty doing construction and feeling kind of like a dirtbag, to doing the Wall Street corporate thing, and getting so sick and tired of that. Now the constant driving, it's very unhealthy. It's unhealthy, it's risky, it's costly. It almost doesn't even make sense. My car insurance and car payment is almost $2,000 a month. It's absurd. It's insane. And that's not even including the gas. Mortgage is over $2,000 a month. I mean, internet, electricity, oil, food. And I'm saying, for what? You know, why is it that I couldn't somehow find a little piece of land on an island and live sustainably and fish, have a little boat and a garden, or even possibly do that out of my backyard? But it's like, I feel like everything is sort of just it's been over industrialized, it's over polluted, it's overcrowded. I can't even swim in White Pond anymore. It's like, I feel like it's time to move on and you know, maybe have this idyllic fantasy of being back to roots in nature come to fruition some other way. I mean, I have a friend of mine who talks very fondly of this place that they have out in Tennessee somewhere, thousands of acres of land. It's like the Grateful Family Foundation. And, I mean, it seems very much like a cop-out, but, you know, I've seen firsthand a lot of these places and how things go down, and everybody needs a little money, man. You know, there's no such thing as, like, you know, everybody kind of doing work for free on some farm and everything kind of being honky-dory like that. It just doesn't necessarily... I don't know. I mean, you know, maybe there are some places where the things work out like that. It's nice. I just feel like at this point in my life, I need to be near the ocean, the water, fishing, a boat, nature, and making some more art and trying to work on some of the painting that my dad had. Really, I mean, it's what motivates me to stay alive is the beauty and the joy that comes from making a painting, and the sadness I feel not doing that and having made so little art in my life, compounded with this memory of my father wanting to paint but being too sick, and then having to deal with my brother, and my brother dumping his shit in his studio, and always going to and from the hospital or being too sick, and this constant stress of having car problems too while we were going back and forth to the hospital like on a full-time basis for years, only for it to get worse with a pandemic, to add the extra stress of that. It's still all fresh in my mind, and I'm saying to myself, what the fuck? My dad made some beautiful, magnificent paintings, and they're like such an accomplishment. It's such a... I am so in awe that my dad was actually able to do that in his life, and it makes me so incredibly sad that the world never really saw his artwork, that it's just gone into obscurity, and that he never got fame or at least some kind of financial, I don't know how else to say it, because it's sort of like, you know, I just feel so sad, because it's like money is great if you spend it and you use it to help other people, but if it's just accumulated and there's just a bunch of shit there, then what's the point? And that's why I feel so bitter about these fucking billionaires, man. Some of them I worked up for, they're so fucking rich, and it's like, what the fuck did you really do other than make money off the backs of all the other workers that bought your products, that went into your fucking corporate office, you know, and busted their ass for 25 years, you know, luckily making 75 or 100K if that, you know, only to turn around and get cancer and fucking die, like my parents. I mean, I feel at this point in life, I need to have some more fun. I need some more joy. I need family. I need friends. I'd love to have a child or children. I'd love to have that opportunity to be a dad, to be a father, and to have like a little peace of mind where, you know, life is not, oh my God, how am I going to pay for this? Or shit, I got to go to work today again. I feel sick. I feel tired. You know, I mean, c'est la vie. I know that's life, but I'm going to be 50 and man, you know, I had hoped that I would have accomplished more in life, or I would have been a doctor. At least I could have said I helped people. I helped save lives. I've saved a few lives, but I've never felt that I've done my calling. And I enjoy making people laugh. I like to make the goofy videos of weird art and stuff. And you know, sometimes I cast doubt on myself. I know that I'm not specifically skilled in any one great thing really well. I have some skills, but I just feel like my life has constantly been interrupted, and by the grace of God, I was able to go to college at night when I was an adult, graduate college at 29, but I mean, you know, 2 months after that, my mom died, and literally 2 months after I graduated college, my mom died, and it just got really bad with my dad and my brother. Just I can't help think of what the police officer told me the last time. Officer Gasparini was in the house. Said, you know, you and your brother, you'd be on top of the world if you just came together. You'd work as partners, and it's so true. My dad would say the same thing. You and your brother had so much power. You could really help each other if you just came together and you worked together, you know. And that's what really breaks my heart. It's like life is going by, and past 20 years went by with very minimal amount of joy between my brother and I, and my brother and my father. My brother really struggled, you know, the past 20 years of his life. I really wonder what the highlight of his life has been. What he, when he looks back on his life, what he feels happy or proud of, or what were the good times for him, because he certainly missed out on a lot of good times with me and my dad. As much as there was so many bad times and times in the hospital, my dad and I would often think about him and get him like a present, and he just would never show up to get it, or just kind of forget that it's his birthday, and never bothered. And my dad would be like, you know, Wally, here, I'm not even going to bother giving it to Andreas. He doesn't even want to have anything to do with us, you know. And it was so sad for me to have to listen to that while I'm taking care of him with cancer. And it's like, you know, what the fuck, man? How come you never bothered to just come and have dinner and sit down and talk? And, you know, birthdays and holidays were always very special in my family growing up. And we tried to keep that tradition. And I remember trying to take my dad to the beach or on vacation. He was always just kind of too sick, and say to me, I wish Andreas was here with us. And I really do miss my brother. I really wish that, you know, he would come and spend some time in the house with me, talk to me, and figure this thing out, because I'm getting too fucking old, I'm getting too depressed, too tired. I feel lonely. I'm so sick and tired of some of these motherfuckers in America. Some of the people in New York, some of the people here, you know, I don't know, man. It's just, there's just so many fucking unhappy, miserable people that are rude, disrespectful, materialistic. It's just straight up, just fucking just not nice. And I think the pandemic and this thing with Trump has made people even more bizarre. It's made the people who have money look at everybody as like a have-not, and as if there's something wrong with them. Now, let's just get this straight, folks. Not everybody knows about stocks, but what I know is that Microsoft, Google, and Nvidia have all gone up over 10, 15%, even more in the past year. If you just put $100,000 on that, you made yourself $1 million. And people who have money don't think anything of taking $100,000 and buying some stocks here and there or a hedge fund, and they just make money hand over foot. But they have that chunk of change. They have an inherited wealth. Most of them will claim that they're self-made, but their parents still paid for them to go to Harvard, or they still didn't have to struggle to have a car, through college, or they had some kind of help from their family. And my brother doesn't seem to realize that this is all we got. This is our last chance, is to save this house and rent it out. That's it. It's just like our last fucking, chance in life. I don't know. Hey, maybe one of my videos will go viral. I don't know. I'm hoping maybe I'll be able to sell some art, but just like I watched my parents, decide that the joy of making the art and just being in the moment outweighs the reward that you could possibly get from selling your art. So two different things: selling your art, making money, and making the art. And in order to make art, it has to come from this special place. You have to be in a certain kind of zone, and that's the zone I would like to be in from now until I die, and not be in this other kind of preoccupation with how to make money or how to sell art. My parents had the summers off. They had each other. They had me and my brother, me mostly helping them. But they didn't make enough art. They never got to really enjoy. I'm really struggling with trying to understand whether or not they had a good life. It seems like it was just cut so short, and shit just got so unfair. I feel extremely depressed. I feel this sadness. It just doesn't go away sometimes. It's like this grief. This like, man, that was not cool, that my dad died. Like I can't. I'm trying to accept it, but I can't seem to accept. The world feels so empty now. It feels so lonely. And I pull in my driveway, coming home to this empty house. It's breaking my heart. It literally is breaking my heart.